Yeah, I really did like what I saw out of Mel Bridges. I mean, this was definitely his best game by far, at least in my opinion, of the preseason. Played 30 minutes, had 15 points. This was the first time where he actually looked to take over. He had sort of been taking a back seat in the first two games, but there was moments in this one where he just put the ball in my hands and let me make a play. And that's something that's going to be crucial for the Knicks because we know it's going to be Brunson and then Cat, OG, but and Bridges, he's going to have to go out there at times and just put the ball in the hoop, and he did a hell of a job of it tonight. OG, guys, 6 of 13, 3 of 8 from 3. He got off to a great start. I mean, if he can shoot 6 of 13 from the field, I mean, we're going to be in a good spot. But he just could not miss to start this game. And then his shot started to get a little bit cold, but I like OG's defense. I like the way he shoots and scores. He had a lot of wide open looks, obviously, because Jalen Brunson was getting to the basket at will. I mean, he was just going downhill. It didn't matter who was on him, if it was a larger defender, a smaller defender. It just seems like the league has yet to figure out how to defend Jalen Brunson. We saw the Pacers have a little bit of success. They would put a 6'8", 6'9" guy who has some length on him to try to limit him. But, I mean, if we're being honest, I think what really hurt Brunson the most was just a little bit of fatigue. I mean, he had to put the Knicks on his back the entire playoffs, and obviously just nowhere being close to 100%. So now going out and getting Cat, of course, and bolstering our bench, because our bench was not great scoring. I think we were 30th in bench scoring. Don't hold me to that, but we could not. We were one of the worst teams in basketball at scoring off the bench. So that's why the addition of Campaign and Shamit, two guards who can score, and Tyler Kolek certainly is going to be able to take some of the burden off of Brunson. But Brunson, guys, was 24 points in 24 minutes. I mean, that's the second game this preseason where he scored more points than he had minutes. I mean, this guy he clearly is in midseason form, which looks great. I thought Josh Hart had a sneaky good game. Didn't score, but we're not asking Hart to score. He's out there to rebound and to play make, and defensively did a nice job switching. Anthony Edwards just was absolutely cooking, but I don't think it mattered who was guarding him, and it wasn't missing. And then, of course, Cat overall, guys, had 16 rebounds, 16 points. Shout out to Cat. I've been kind of getting on him about the rebounding and can he play the 5 because it hasn't really worked out so far in his career. But Cat, guys, he was going after the boards. I think there was a lot of motivation, too, for Cat playing against his former team. I mean, I'm not saying it was personal because it's a business, but you could tell there was a little bit something extra for him out there, and he wanted to go out there and have a good game, and he did. 16 and 16, back-to-back. That's actually not back-to-back, but Cat has 2 double-doubles in the first 3 games, which is great, man. I'm loving the addition of Cat. Guys, like, our centers took just 3 3-pointers last year. Cat got up, 6 threes in this game. So Cat took more threes in this game than our entire centers did last season. I mean, the spacing's so much better. Like, why do you think Jalen Brunson's going downhill? Well, 1, because he's great, but 2, because there's no one there. There's no big men winning for him, right? Like, Mitch and Hartenstein, they didn't space the floor exactly. I mean, Mitch specifically, Hartenstein did a pretty good job, honestly, but... And then, just the bench overall, we kind of touched upon that. But, I would say the biggest takeaway is Mel Bridges had his best game. Cat attacking the boards. Jalen Brunson is Jalen Brunson. And then just our bench not hurting us, right? Our bench didn't come out there and play poorly and lose this game. If anything, the bench won us the game because, this was a neck-and-neck game, and our bench just happened to outplay their bench. Now, Minnesota did play a lot of young guys. Certainly, we've got a lot of veterans, so that's a big reason why we were able to win. But, again, a win's a win. We're 3-0. And I believe we have 2 more preseason games left, so I'll definitely keep you guys updated, man. All right, boys, welcome back to another video, Knicks Daily. Today we're going to be reacting to the 115-110 victory over the Minnesota Timberwolves. This was the first preseason game the Wolves had lost in 2 years. Pretty crazy to think about, but the Knicks got it done. The second unit was fantastic. I thought the first unit overall was a little bit streaky. They're still trying to develop chemistry. Of course, it's essentially an entire new starting lineup if you think about it. We've got Mel Bridges, Karl-Anthony Towns, OG for a full season, so it's going to take some time. But these guys, they've just shown long stretches of being absolutely dominant. I mean, this was the #1 ranked defense in the NBA last year in Minnesota. They feel like they've gotten better, of course, going out there and adding in Dante DiVincenzo. Julius Randle obviously didn't play with that shoulder injury coming off of the surgery, but I just think the biggest thing with the Knicks is just going to be to just get better every single game, and it seems like they're doing that to me, man. I thought in this one, they moved the ball well, they flew around defensively. I mean, this is only the 3rd game of the year, and just from where they were in the first game, ever getting up to a slow start against the Charlotte Hornets, and then now just being able to go out there and run with Minnesota starters. So I'm definitely encouraged by this game. I think the biggest question mark for me coming into the preseason wasn't even the starting lineup. I mean, nobody's doubting that. Maybe doubting if they can win it all, right? Is Cat going to be able to step up, man? Because he didn't in last year's playoffs. But it's really the bench, right? Can the bench go out there and not make us worse? And in this one, they played basically the entire fourth quarter. Precious Achiuwa 19 minutes, Jericho Sims 13 minutes. We saw Ariel Laporte, of course, check in when Sims ended up fouling out. Campaign played 20 minutes, McBride 24 minutes, Shamet 22 minutes. So if you think about it, we've got maybe one of the most dangerous bench players in all of the league in Miles McBride. I mean, he started last year for us and averaged over 17 in games, so we know he's legit. And even though he did shoot 3 of 11 from the field, you could tell when he was out there, he just made everyone's jobs easier defensively, of course, being able to switch the pick and roll, and he was just creating shots and handling the ball. And McBride, he didn't play last game too, so it's kind of expected that he's going to be a little bit rusty because he missed the last game, of course, with an illness. But yeah, I thought overall just the bench, it really kind of kept us in the game. Landry Shamet missed his first 4 threes and then hit 2 of his next 3. He's going to be a streaky shooter. I think that's going to be the biggest thing between Shamet and Devo. I know a lot of guys are asking, oh, well, is Shamet going to be the Devo replacement? I mean, we'll have to wait and see, but he looks a little bit too streaky to be Dante DiVincenzo. I mean, asking him to be that would be crazy. I mean, Devo literally was arguably had the best 3-point shooting season in Knicks history, but I think Shamet's just gonna have to go out there and just knock down the open looks. He's gonna have to hit some tough shots as well, but playmaking is the biggest concern, right? I like our bench from a scoring perspective, but from a playmaking perspective, I'm not sure if we have that floor general that we're looking for, which is surprising why Tyler Kolek didn't play. Of course, the first 2 preseason games, I mean, he was one of the best players out there. And then in this game, because we had McBride back, he doesn't even see the floor. So that kind of is telling us that, hey, look, the rookie's not going to be seeing a lot of run. He's not going to get a lot of minutes during the regular season when we're healthy. So that's going to go to Campaign. Again, he plays 20 minutes. Jalen Brunson plays 24 minutes. Shamet sees 22 minutes, and then McBride 24 minutes, and then we don't see Kolek. So that was a disappointment, but his time will come for sure. I mean, obviously we've got Campaign and Shamet on 1-year deals. They've played a lot of basketball. They played in playoff games, big moments. So right now they're definitely going to be good enough to go out there and get it done. I think ultimately, though, later on in the year we will start to see Tyler Kolek, but it's not looking like he's going to crack the starting rotation. Now, of course, we're not going to run this many guys come the regular season, right? Like, we're not going to see Ariel Laporte. I think we'll see a little bit of Jericho Sims, but outside of that, it seems like our rotation is pretty set. It's going to be Brunson, it's going to be Bridges, OG, and then Hart, and then Cat, and then off the bench we're going to see Achiuwa, Sims, Campaign, McBride, and Shamet. Maybe we'll see a couple of other guys, right? Eventually, Mitchell Robinson's going to come back out there, and we'll see. But I just think the biggest thing is going to just be developing more chemistry. Like I said, there's been stretches this year where we've absolutely looked great, and there's been some stretches where we look bad. I mean, and we've had to make some runs too. Like I said, falling behind against the Hornets. We saw the Wizards, of course, come back after we got up with 15-4, and in this game we were down double digits and had to come back. And the main reason why we were down double digits was 2 things. For one, we couldn't knock down a shot, but for 2, Anthony Edwards played 27 minutes and 31 points, 8 of 13 from 3. I mean, he could not miss. He was scorching hot. I can't see his plus and minus right now, but I'd have to imagine it was pretty high. I mean, this guy was just getting downhill. He was knocking, the floater was on. I mean, he was hitting step back threes. I mean, Ant just looked possessed in this game. And Dante DiVincenzo, 6 of 11, 15 points, 7 assists, 27 minutes. I mean, look how far he's come, man, when he was with the Bucks and then the Warriors and then with us last season, and now I think he's going to have an even better year with Minnesota. I mean, obviously trading Devo was the last thing that any Knick fan wanted, but you got to give to get, and the Knicks believe they got one of the best players in basketball, and of course to get that, you're going to have to give up something good, and it'll be interesting to see how Randall ends up playing when he comes back for them.